Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Digging Deeper podcast. We're laughing because about 5 seconds before we started, Jacob was like, I can't hear myself. And so I had to like run over there and unmute the channels real quick. Anyways, so
We made it, though.
we made it. Hopefully you can hear us. I can hear us. It looks like over there y'all can hear us. So we should be good. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. We are so glad that y'all joined us here today. If you don't know what this is, we dig a little bit deeper into that week's sermon and just look a little bit more into the context, into application, just figure out how to apply it to our lives, all sorts of different things, whatever we want to talk about. You know, that's what we talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's great.
And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Brown, and I'm the associate pastor here at First Baptist Azle.
My name is Jacob Belding. I'm the connections minister here at First Baptist Azle.
Okay. And let's get into it. Pastor Lee preached this past week, and it was called A Loving Reminder, covering 1 John 4, which really is just a sermon on relationships.
It sounded to me like the loving reminder was to bring him pies and desserts.
That was the real point of the sermon.
A loving reminder.
He
Love
had
your
that.
pastor.
He had that thought at the beginning. He was like, "I want more pie. How do I get there?"
Yeah. Which is funny because it seems like he gets plenty.
I know. Have you ever gotten a pie?
No.
I've never gotten a pie.
No. Of course
Is
not.
it just like a senior pastor
It
thing?
must be. Yeah.
We need to go get our own churches, and then we'll get pies.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Anyways, I like peach pie.
He mentioned peach cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, yeah, a good peach cobbler.
I like both. So peach cobbler is like typically like warm and like has the stuff. And then there's like peach pie, which is like cold. And
Yep.
I'm a fan of both. I like peaches.
Oh, yeah.
Cherry pie.
Cherry pie is good. Pecan pie. I didn't used to like pecan pie growing up, but
I don't know if I've ever had it.
oh, it's so sweet.
I think, is it kind of like, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the sweet potato thing. So I never really liked sweet potatoes growing up, but I went to a Thanksgiving thing and they had the sweet potatoes with the pecans on the top. And I'm like, this is basically a dessert.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much. My wife likes sweet potatoes a lot. I'm like, it's rabbit food, you know. Like, potatoes are supposed to be baked, you know, like a baked potato, like the russet potatoes.
Oh, you can do that with sweet potatoes.
Well, yeah, and she does.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, not for me. I'm good.
I like sweet potato fries. This is what we're talking about. We're just going to...
Talk about food.
Yeah, this podcast is really just whatever we want to talk about. Anyways, okay. Yes, so the whole sermon is about relationships. Pastor Lee shared his life quote, if you will, that everything in life is relationships. Do you agree with that?
I mean, to some extent.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. I mean, he did make a compelling case at the beginning of his sermon, didn't he? He spent quite a bit of time, you know, pointing out our nature, particularly in 21st century America, to focus more on, you know, career, materialism. You know, do I have the car that I like? Do I have a nice house? You know, focused on self and fulfillment and those kinds of things, and how all those things at the end of the day will just leave you empty.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. So you went through all those things about how life is about relationships. And I'm going to presume he's including God in that, a relationship with God. And culture tends to push us in the opposite way. And I think if you look at just the development of technology, with the development of technology, it creates more and more separation from people, right? And so like even, so like if you go to like, you know, third world country or even in the Philippines, their towns are built, or their little village areas are built like very community centric. And so like you have community center, and then all the houses are really close together, small houses, walkable roads, all that stuff. And so it's really designed for people to not stay in their house.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do in your house? It's designed to go outside and be amongst the community, where our culture is going way the other way. And so it's like we are getting bigger houses, so that way we have more stuff. Like we want an office in our house, a gym in our house, a entertainment area in our house, and so that way we just don't ever have to leave our house.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
That's the goal. Before, like if you had a small house and you need to like get some space, you would go outside. Well, now we just have big enough houses that we can just go to a different area in our house to get space. Or even cars. It's public transportation is getting less and less and less, and now we're all individually in our cars. Work from home. A good chunk of the sector doesn't even go into work anymore. They just work from their house, completely segregated. Even technology, our phones. The more we used to converse face to face, then there was like phone calls, and now we can converse at distance. Then there's text, and we're not even looking at each other anymore, or even speaking to each other anymore. And so there's a lot of technology that's just pulling us further from socializing in relationships, which creates a challenge for us because we believe the Bible does call us to relationships. And so how do we live in a technologically advanced world that pushes us away from each other, but also overcome that to come together?
Yeah, it's tricky, but I think we are hardwired to want those relationships,
100%.
And whether we, it doesn't take that much of an imagination, right? So there was the pastor of the church that I grew up in. He told a story or gave kind of an example one time. He said, "All right, so you're going to go out to the golf course, and you're playing by yourself, and you take a shot from the box where you drive from, and you make a hole in one. What are you going to want to immediately do after that? You're going to want to go tell all your buddies, hey, man, yeah, I know you weren't there, but I made a hole in one. Like, how cool is that?" So, and that's just, one tiny example, but it's like we crave that. And it's not, it's not like golf or, fill in the blank is the end all be all, right? Like, it wouldn't be any fun if you made a hole in one or you accomplished something and then you weren't able to like share that with somebody else, right? Or other people.
There's actually an old joke. What was it? It's something along the lines of like a Jewish rabbi or something going golfing on Sunday or Saturday, Sabbath, and it made a hole in one. It was the saddest day because he couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah. That's that rings kind of like the Baptist in the liquor store kind of joke.
And so,
or even Tuesday I came in and Monday night TCU played North Carolina in football, and it was a great game. It was awesome. Frogs totally dominated. They looked great, and I'm dying to talk about it. So I'm like, hey, Chris, how was your Memorial Day, or how was your Labor Day? Oh, it was good. We did this and that. I'm like, well, let me tell you about how awesome this game was. It's just stuff like that. I mean, we crave that.
Yeah, well, 100%. So we crave it. So the tricky part is, especially for introverts, because even if you're introverted, you do crave relationships. Like you have to have it.
Yeah.
The tricky part is, how do you, as an introvert, overcome not only your internal struggle with socializing, but also the external struggle of society pushing you further apart. And so that's the weird dichotomy that humans live in, is that we're kind of, I don't want to speak, with a broad brush, but I think humans are unique in that we have instincts that push us towards like the betterment of our life, yet we actively go against that to our own detriment. And that comes out in relationships. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a loneliness epidemic, right? Like if we were able to just, by our own nature, satisfy the relationships that we need, then we wouldn't be alone. But as we're going to talk about later, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's there. And so God did hardwire us, like you mentioned, for relationships. And it makes sense. You even go back all the way to the garden. He made man. The first thing that wasn't good was that he was alone.
Yep.
And so there was something there. There was something there that even in a perfect relationship with God, God saw as this could be better.
Yeah.
And I want to dance around that slightly because, y'all know what I mean. Don't read too much into that. That God designed us not to just have a relationship with Him, but a relationship with others. Mm-hmm. And I think that plays itself out in the rest of the commands of the Bible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's those two things. Yeah.
I watched a sermon clip recently from Vodi Bakum. He was talking about that, how, in the garden, it's, Adam is naming all the animals, and, same thing. God sees that it's not good for man to be alone, so, he takes one of Adam's ribs, and Adam wakes up, and he's like, whoa, yes, she is for me. Man. Come here, woman, is what he goes. It was hilarious. It was funny. He's a funny guy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're that's why I kind of laughed. So I was thinking about that one. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so that's kind of the root thought of the sermon. This is based out of 1 John 4, so we can go ahead and pull that up right here. 19 through 21. Jacob, you want to read that?
Yes. We love because he first loved us. If anyone says, I love God, and yet hates his brother or sister, he is a liar. For the person who does not love his brother or sister, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. And we have this command from him. The one who loves God must also love his brother and sister. This is NIV.
No, this is CSB.
Really?
I think.
Interesting.
Let me see. Yeah, CSB. Cool. Does ESV say something different?
It just doesn't say sister. It sticks with brother.
Oh, yes. Yeah. CSB does that. It's not a political way, but it neutralizes language.
Right. That's why I thought it was NIV. I'm like, interesting.
Okay, yeah. So here we have explicit statements about how our love for God should translate to our love for others and our relationships to others. And so Pastor Lee pulls out three things that we need to make relationships work. And the first one that he sees in this passage is you need God.
Yes.
And so you can't love others well without first being loved by God. And it explicitly states that. Verse 19, we love because he first loved us. You got thoughts?
Oh, yeah. We are in the middle of our re-engaged marriage ministry right now, and that's like lesson one is on love, and then it kind of it grows out from there, and so we did that one just a couple of weeks ago, and one of the questions that the book asks is, do you think it's possible to love in its fullest capacity without God being in the picture? And the answer is no. I would say no.
Yeah, which that sounds, by the way, that sounds offensive.
Sure.
Right?
That's okay.
Because if you're talking to someone who's not a Christian, so I remember in student ministry, we were studying this passage once, and this very concept came up of like, if you are not saved and have experienced the love of God, then you cannot love others. And so you had this girl and guy who were in a relationship, loved each other, quote unquote, but he wasn't a Christian. And so now that's very offensive because now you're saying I can't love my girlfriend because I'm not in a relationship with God. Like, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. All that.
Yeah.
And what we mean by that, it doesn't mean that you can't have feelings for a person.
Sure.
You can have feelings for a person. You can care about a person even. But if you don't know what it means, like agape, like the covenantal love of God, if you don't know, like by definition, what the holy definition of love is and have experienced it, then you cannot give it. right? You can give a distorted version of it.
Correct.
Yeah. And so, and we see this in society today. And Pastor Lee brings up 1 Corinthians 13, which I think is a great definition of love. The Bible knew what it was doing.
It's just God's definition.
Yeah, and God knew that we were going to misuse this word love, and so he gave us an explicit definition of the word love.
Pretty well broken down.
Yeah, and so we've talked about this before, but this is where society gives a distorted view of love, because what they say is love is you have to affirm me.
Yep.
And I think 1 Corinthians 13 has a lot of kindness, has a lot of forgiveness, has a lot of patience in it, but it's also there's an accountability to it. It's not going to rejoice in wrongdoing, but it's not going to delight in wrongdoing, but rejoice in truth.
Yeah.
Paraphrase.
Yeah.
And so there's an element of love that has admonishment to it. And so you can have a distorted view of love, and without knowing the full love of God and what that means is it's going to come out that way. And so there's people that no doubt lie to their spouse because they think that's the loving thing to do. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's not.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That would not fall under the definition of a love action.
Yeah. There's people there's spouses, no doubt. There are spouses that have cheated on their wives, and they have convinced themselves that it's more loving for them to not confess that and repent than to just hide it.
Yeah, even the other way around. There's wives that have cheated, and same thing. Yeah, would rather conceal it instead of come clean. And I really think that without having an experiential knowledge of the love of God in our lives, I think that leads to a distorted view of love, and it's going to be more fickle. It's going to be because it's hard enough for us, isn't it? Like, let's just take a step back from that for a second. Isn't it hard enough to be gracious to our spouses? Isn't it hard enough? Maybe not.
I'm always.
Y'all come to Reengage and we can talk about forgiveness, right? It's hard enough for us to do that when we've been changed by God's love, and we struggle with that. And so, how much more for those that haven't been transformed, that don't know that experiential love of God, so how much more fickle is that love going to be? And I think it tends to be more, it's more self-centered. What am I getting from this arrangement versus what can I give in this arrangement?
Well, and there's also an element of, so let's say the admonishment, accountability aspect of love.
Yeah.
Well, let's say you have a definition of love that doesn't even touch that.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're going to do your thing. Let's say you're married to your spouse. You're going to do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. You see them doing things that you disagree with, but you're okay, I'm just going to let them do that. That's their life, not mine, and vice versa. Well, now you're not even getting into elements in which you would need to present kindness and patience and forgiveness and things like that, because you're not even bridging that gap to get there. And so there's elements that whenever you have a distorted view of love, you're actually not going as deep into the relationship as you normally would to even be able to experience that level of love, of forgiveness and things like that. And so there's a risk whenever you do have a distorted view of love that you're actually just sitting on the surface of it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's just not. It's not engaging, really.
Or there's some that you think that you're loving. So you see someone, they offend you, and you're whatever, I'm just going to get over it. But you're not actually forgiving them.
Yeah.
You're just bottling it.
Yeah.
And you're whatever, I'm just going to move on. There's a difference between that and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And so there's elements that you may think that you're loving them and forgiving them, but you're actually not.
Yeah. And that leads to resentment, and that leads to bigger issues.
That will eventually blow up.
Yeah. Big time. Yes.
Yep. So, anyways, so all in all, the beautiful aspect of the gospel is that we love because He first loved us. We forgive because He first forgave us, and so everything. Before you can have proper godly relationships with others, you have to have godly or a fulfilled God relationship or relationship with God in that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, having that relationship with God first is so crucial and so important. Partly because, I mean, we weren't just made for relationships with each other, like you said, right? We're made for relationship with God first and foremost. And without that, that's where idolatry comes in. We try to fill it with other things and fail.
Yeah.
When we do, So yep, I agree.
Yep. Okay. So that's the first thing that Pastor Lee pointed out was you need God to make relationships work, and then second, this sounds obvious, you need people. Sounds obvious. We're moving into a society where it's not as obvious.
There was that show, My Strange Addiction.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. The guy that married his car, or that was in a relationship with his car.
I did not see that one. I remember the one where it was like not even like real life, like dolls, like women dolls, but it was like little like kid dolls.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It wasn't relationship robots.
Yeah, which that's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
I saw this video where they have AI, right?
Yeah.
That you can like have conversations with. So they're incorporating this into robots. Who could saw that coming? And there was at this like tech expo, and they had developed this woman robot who had AI in it to like respond and have conversation with, and I was like shocked at the reasoning because the guy was like, hey, we have a loneliness epidemic on our hands, like with like kids reporting greater rates of loneliness and depression, senior adults, blah blah blah, all this. And it's like so like what we're doing is we're creating these robots to help fill that need, and I'm like, no.
The cure is worse than the disease. Yeah. This just is going to make it worse.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you need people, not robots. And then, so as he was saying this, of course, the robot was this very sexualized version of a woman. I'm like, okay, it's like sure, yes, the senior adult ladies need this as a companion.
Right? Like, come on. Yeah, it's bad. It's the same. It's the same line of thinking is like, oh, poverty is, is such a horrible problem. I know. Let's push those living in poverty and give good arguments for them to abort their babies. It's the same argument, basically, just repackaged. It's the cure is worse than the disease on the thing.
And so it's very easy to feel that longing for relationships and to fill it with things other than relationships.
You're correct.
Fill it with hobbies, fill it with pets, fill it with online chat rooms, you name it. It's easy to put something in that place other than an actual person to build out a relationship with. So it sounds obvious, but
people do it.
In reality, it's not as obvious. Like logically, it's obvious, but in practical action, we tend to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's like that guy on My Strange Addiction. He I can't remember what the car was, but he would like sit down on the ground. Like I remember this because it was like, whoa, this guy really loves his car. And he would like kiss the bumper of his car, and it was like, dude, what are you doing? And it's like, okay, who hurt you?
Sometimes I wonder how real is this, or how much are they playing it up for the camera?
Yeah, like I like my truck, but I don't like my truck that much. Or there was one where there was a woman that she had lost her husband. Did you see that one? And he was cremated, and so she has like a necklace or
I think
something.
I did see that one, yeah.
She carries around his ashes, and she like she is like ingesting the ashes, and it's because she feels lonely or she feels whatever. And this is a way to connect, and it's like, first off, probably not good for your health. Second off, like, you need to get out, make some friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and all of those are just like extreme depictions of what we all do.
Right.
Like we all get caught up in our hobbies or whatever it is to feel or fill some kind of need. And those people are just
couple steps
beyond
past,
that. But yeah,
which honestly, at the end of the day, like, the show is meant to be like shocking, right?
Yeah.
With the addictions, but at the end of the day, it's pretty sad. Really,
oh yeah,
really.
100%.
It's like, man, it's like you wonder if they wake up one day and are like, how did I get here?
Yeah. You know? Well, even so we were talking about this in our young adult group. We were going through Revelation, and the age old question came up. It's like, are pets going to be in heaven? You know, do all dogs go to heaven? Why not? And there was some lively debate over this. Yeah. And I just kind of like stepped in and been like, hey, I think once we get to heaven, the last thing on our mind is going to be, oh, is Sparky here with me? Yeah. Is Gizmo here? Pets are cool, but heaven, like, if we think that we're going to need our pets to be happy in heaven, then we have a very low view of what heaven is going to be.
For sure.
And pets are great. I guess, actually, I'm not a huge pet person. I've got one cat and I hate him. We have a mutual hatred for each other. So I'm not much of a pet person, but I can respect people who are pet persons. Y'all have dogs. Yeah. Y'all have cats. Do you like your cats?
There's one cat I'll tolerate.
Yeah.
I'll tolerate him.
And that's fine. I think it's fine to have relationships with pets and all that. But pets are not a proper substitute for human relationships, and they're certainly not needed to have a fulfilling life. Certainly not in heaven.
Right.
Now, will there be animals in heaven? I think there's a decent argument to make that they're going to be, if heaven is a physical place and a physical world, then there are going to be animals. Sure, I think that's a fine argument to make. Are they the same animals that are here today? I think that's a harder argument to make. But the ultimate point is, it's okay because we don't need them.
Right.
We're going to be with God in our glorified bodies amongst other people glorified. We're going to have everything that we need to live a fully fulfilled life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, if God does populate the new earth, the new heaven and the new earth with animals, I mean, wouldn't it be cool to, like, have a pet tiger or, like, I don't know.
Or, here's the question. Would there be snakes? Or are snakes
forever
fully banished due to the Satan and the serpent?
Maybe there are. Maybe, like, dragons make a comeback, assuming that the serpent had legs or wings or whatever.
Or is it, or they're dinosaurs? There's a theory of, dinosaurs are basically just like reptiles that never stop growing, and they lived, 800 years, same way man did. It's not a bad theory, I think. But, if man lives forever, do the animals live forever? Do they keep growing?
It's a good question.
Good question.
It's like, I'm going to head over to the next garden over today. I'm going to ride my giant lizard over there.
Yeah.
I would have a giant horn frog that I could ride.
I like to go.
This is fan fiction,
yes.
by the way.
I am by no means a dinosaur denier, but we'll take the kids to the Science Museum in Fort Worth, and they have like dinosaur skeleton bones and all that. And I just like to poke holes. I just like to play devil's advocate. And so I'll go to Randy. I'm like, you do realize like they didn't find that, right? Like the most, I think the most they've ever found of a dinosaur skeleton is what, 70%?
Yeah,
and that's like. They actually had this written out in the little thing. It's like less than 1% of the dinosaurs' bones that they found have a 70% at most compilation, the vast majority of the ones they found are like less than 25%.
Yeah.
And so now they're filling in the gaps of all the rest. And so I'm like, Randy, I'm like, that didn't look like that. That's not the way it looked.
Have you seen that graphic? It's like it's a skull. It's a really big skull, and it looks mean. It's got like teeth coming up this way and that way, and it's scientist depiction of what this animal might have looked like, and it's like, no, it's a hippo. The thing has just real big lips covering up. He doesn't look so mean, even though those things are mean, but they don't look like it. They're just hanging out in the water or whatever. Big old tubby things.
Yep. So, anyways,
but we need people. We need people, right?
Yeah, we need people. That's the point. That's the point. We need people, and one day we're gonna fully realize this, or live this fully out in heaven. But nowadays, in the here and now, we're called to redeem. Not only a relationship with God, or have a redeemed relationship with God, but also a redeemed relationship with others. It's restore the vertical relationship, restore the horizontal relationship. And Jesus even mentions this in the passage that Lee brought up. He brought Mark 12, where the Pharisees come and ask him, hey, what's the greatest commandment? And he gives the Shema, the love of the Lord your God with our heart, soul, and mind. And then he gives a second. They didn't ask for it, but he's like, here's a second one, just a bonus one. Love others, love your neighbor as yourself. And Lee mentioned that, he could have given one of the 10 Commandments. This, though, is a summary of the 10 Commandments, which is the cool thing.
Loophole.
Yeah, loophole. That you've got the 10 Commandments. I think we've mentioned this before, but 10 Commandments is broken down into 2 tables. The first 4 is about our relationship with God, and the second 6 is about our relationship with others. And so a restored relationship with God, restored relationship with others.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yes.
Yeah. All life is relationships.
Nailed it.
Yeah, we're getting there. Any other thoughts on needing people?
No, I think that pretty well covers it.
Yeah. Well, the last thought that Lee gave is that we need forgiveness in relationships. He even...
So I had 4.
Yeah, but what was the 4th one?
Kindness.
You need kindness? Okay, we'll talk about that too. Okay. Okay, we'll mix these together. You need forgiveness and kindness. How about that? We'll do 3.5.
Yeah.
So he goes far enough to say when you stop forgiving others, that's when the relationship starts going downhill.
Yeah.
You've done re-engage a few times. Is that the case?
Yes. Yeah, that is true.
100%.
I mean, so think about it. I mean, and whenever particularly when we're talking about marriage, even if both are believers, which is ideally the case, I still have sin that clings to me. Right? You still have sin that clings to you. We all have. That's bad doctrine. We'll talk about it later.
Actually, in the passage, the 1 John passage at the beginning, he's like,
if anyone says they're without sin,
they're a liar, and the love of God is not in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is funny because like the people that hold the theology that Christians don't sin usually point to John.
Yeah.
But they skip over chapter 1.
Sure. Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We all have sin that still clings to us, right? And so the question is, how can 2 sinful people live together in a relationship that lasts? And if you don't have, if you can't forgive, if you don't have forgiveness, it ain't gonna last long. Mm-hmm. Like you have to forgive. If marriage is going to work, if any relationship is going to work at some point, at some level, you're gonna have to have forgiveness. I mean, otherwise, what are you gonna do? It'll just, like you said, you can bottle it up. That turns into resentment. At some point, it blows up, and then it ends.
Yeah, well, even if it doesn't, let's say you take the mindset of, and we're speaking strictly like a marriage for this part. But let's say you don't even bottle it up. Let's say you take the approach of,
or just let it all out,
or no, not even that. Just it's their life. They're going to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell them how to live their life. Well, at that point, you're almost more acting as roommates than you are as a marriage. We believe that marriage is two people coming together to become one. Mm-hmm. And if you have the mindset of, oh, I'm not going to say anything because it's their life, whatever. And same thing with me. Well, now you're not becoming one. You're just two people living together.
Yeah.
Right. And so.
Yeah, basically. And and that is a goal, right? Is attaining and maintaining unity. Mm-hmm. Right, unity in marriage, and it's hard. I would say it's impossible to do that without forgiveness.
Yeah, you have to because I do stupid things all the time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and that's part of the premise of re-engage when we do that is, what we tend to do is we tend to think about all the things that I need to forgive my wife about, right? Not thinking about all the things that I need forgiveness for, and so it's, I think that's one of the things that ministry does very well is it kind of takes our focus off of our spouse and turns it onto ourselves instead. Mm-hmm. Okay. How can I function and change for the better? Because that's what I can control, right? Yeah. I can control me and how I give forgiveness and how I approach the need to be forgiven and those sorts of things.
Well, and this is really the only way for relationships, even for now to move outside of marriage. This is the only way for relationships to have longevity is for forgiveness. Because let's say you go to a job and you make some friends at that job, and then like you get burned by that job, and you're like, okay, I'm out, and you quit and go somewhere else. Well, now like you've left it so quick that you haven't had the opportunity to push through the disagreement, to forgive and to move forward.
Yeah.
I've been here 10 years, over 10 years. That's long enough to have some disagreements with people. And the cool thing is, like in the moment, like when you're having those disagreements, like it feels heavy and it feels like, okay, well, I guess this is just done. But you just, the whole point of godly relationships is to endure through that, to have patience through that, to talk through it, and to forgive beyond that. And it's cool whenever you can have those disagreements and you're still there enough time later that's just kind of in the distant rearview mirror.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh yeah, I remember whenever we had
that was dumb.
And so that's one of the things is that if you never find yourself forgiving, it might be because you're shifting from relationship to relationship so quickly that you're not having the opportunity for forgiveness.
Yeah, you're being an avoider at that point.
And at that point, you're not actually having as deep of relationships as you possibly could.
Yeah.
The cool thing it's like marriage. The beautiful thing about marriage is you become so close to the person that you can be yourself. Mm-hmm. The bad thing is you're yourself.
Yeah, that's right. And we're awful.
Yeah, and we're awful. And so like you let your guard down and you're not, all of a sudden you don't have this like filter up and that's a beautiful thing, but it's also a horrific thing.
Oh yeah.
And so it's this like balance of having that level of comfort, yet combating that level of comfort to still care for that person, and not care for as a filter way, but care for as in like, no, I just truly want to care for you. I don't have to care for you in order for you to think well of me. You already know who I am.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm truly trying to be kind. We're moving into point 3 or point 4. Or I'm truly trying to be kind to you, not because I'm trying to put on a front, but because I love you.
Yeah, that's right. I love you. I'm for you. I'm on your side. I'm on your team. I want to see you do well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to be kind or patient. And down the list we go. Right, 1 Corinthians 13. I liked the kindness section of the sermon because that's when Lee got into people are kind to me. I was brought some peach cobbler this week. That was so kind. Or receiving letters and notes.
Yeah, I can't wait till I get, we've talked about this before. So we each have our own small group, and yours is like more in the 30s, 40s range, of mine's more in the 20s, 30s. A lot of your group has like older kids.
Yeah.
A lot of my group has younger kids. We're in survival mode in my group.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to like cooking, we're more, what can we do just to put food on the table?
Yeah. Yeah.
And y'all's group is like, what can we imagine today?
Oh, and they love it too. They love to do that. It's which is great. This Sunday before last, the last time that we got together was because we'll pick a theme, right? And it was Baptist potluck, and which is great. The first time that we did that, or I won't name him, but there was a family that they have their son with them, and they got in the car after and like, Mom, Dad, what was that theme tonight? And because he had like one of everything on his plate, and I think he went back for seconds and got one of everything else. So he had just a huge variety of food. Right? What was that? After they go, that's called potluck. He goes, oh, I love potluck.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's like a buffet.
Absolutely. Yeah, the sky's the limit.
You know what I just realized? Buffets aren't really a thing anymore. Our kids don't get to experience buffets.
My kids have, and they keep hounding me about going back to a buffet.
Well, which one y'all go to?
I think it was either my parents or Sam's parents took them to Golden Corral or one of those like that, and they're like, we love a buffet. They're like, can we go to a buffet? I'm like, Cece's is a buffet technically.
I'd love to go Cece's.
But a lot of those, we don't tend to go like Ponchos. Did you ever go to Ponchos growing up? Dude, Ponchos was so good. It's a Mexican buffet. And like you raise the flag and they'll bring you sopapillas, hot, warm sopapillas.
Oh, I have been. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. You go on your birthday and you get a piñata. It was awesome. They had a ice cream machine, the soft serve ice cream where you can go get as much as you want and there's candy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, maybe, bring back Ponchos. We need more buffets. I agree.
What was the other one? Golden Corral. There's another big buffet place.
Furs, maybe? Was that a buffet?
I think it's Furs. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Justin has a dairy allergy, so I don't know if he would do well in the buffet, but maybe one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to. I'm sure it's changed a little bit with allergies, food allergies and things.
I've always wanted to take, Judson wouldn't be able to do CC's, but I've always wanted to take Lottie to CC's, and Randy hates CC's.
Really?
So I couldn't get her to go, but one day I need to go on a date with my daughter, take her to CC's.
Yes. Let me introduce you to the glory of
Look at
CC's.
The mac and cheese pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the one in
Do you like mac and cheese? Do you like pizza? Put them together.
Yeah, that's right. The dessert pizza.
Do you like brownies? Do you like pizza?
Here we go. Yeah. I wish they would bring back the, they have like the cheesy bread sticks kind of thing. It's not really sticks, but they used to have the chocolate pizza was like on those, but now it's like they've changed it and it's just not, not the same.
Yeah.
Like, bring it back, CC's.
Like the gooey
ones? Yeah. Oh, man. And even like the vanilla flavored ones or whatever, the not chocolate ones.
It's probably been 10 years since I've been CC's. The last time I went, it was in the one in Lake Worth. It may have been when I was single, and I was like, just one day I was like, I want to go CC's, and so I literally just went by myself and just sat at CC's.
Played some arcade games, won some prizes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's wrap up this sermon. Okay. So, loving reminder. Everything in life is relationships. First and foremost, to restore your relationship to God, and then second, because of that, to restore your relationship with others. And that's presented in needing four things. You need God, you need people, you need forgiveness, you need kindness to have godly, enduring relationships. Any last thoughts?
Nope. I think I like it. I like it.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, now let's move into our bad doctrine of the week.
It's the bad doctrine of the week.
Sorry, there we are. I was trying to find the button to bring us back. Okay, Jacob, this is your pick. Anything you want to say to get into it?
No comment necessary.
No comment necessary. All right, let's watch it.
Our Father. Today we shift ever so subtly from our to Father. What does it mean that we address God in this way? What does that tell us about God, about our relationship to God, and our relationship to each other? Whether you pray, our Father in heaven, or our Mother in heaven, or our parent in heaven, it makes no difference in terms of the prayer itself. However, it can make a tremendous difference in the life of the one who is praying. For those with strained or non-existent relationships with the parent, feeling forced to pray to God in a way that brings up that painful familial relationship can have harmful consequences. Where one's parent or caregiver has been unloving or abusive, it can be damaging to pray to God and think of God as parent, especially if doing so projects abusive qualities onto God. So in that situation, I might counsel a person to consider shaping their prayer around a different metaphor. Perhaps our Creator or our Good Shepherd, if these metaphors have positive associations. But it could even be something like our Sunday school teacher, our grandmother, our coach, our mentor, whatever will elicit from you this sense of belovedness.
Cool. All right.
Super rad.
Yeah. Okay. It got weird at the end. Did you have any opening thoughts, or you
Go
want me
ahead.
to hear my thoughts? Okay.
You go first.
I've got multiple thoughts on this. I have seen this clip before. I didn't realize it till the end, and she starts saying like our mentor, our Sunday school teacher. To me, that's weird. If even if we grant the premise on like, okay, you have an abusive father, then don't say our Father, say our Creator. I can at least see the logic in that. But then to shift to pray our Sunday school teacher is like, that's weird. That moves into a different category of weird. Okay. First thought is there are times that you grow up in an abusive situation. Let's say you have an abusive father who sexually assaulted you or whatever, or beat you or whatever, and now you have traumatic, your brain has traumatic ties to fathers and being abusive. 100% understand that, 100% get that. The problem that I run into is the whole point of the gospel is for, particularly in the language of father, is for us to start to have a true understanding of what it means to have a father. And so what I don't love is, because I had a bad experience with my father, which I did, by the way, because I have a bad experience with my father, now I'm going to throw out that entire quality and role of God because of what my earthly father did. I don't think that's the best approach. I think a better approach is, my father was awful, so how can I look to God as the perfect father to redeem my thoughts on what a father should be? That's my first and ultimate thought. Do you have thoughts?
I agree. I agree with you. And I think just generally the whole argument is very man-centered, isn't it? I mean, it's about me, right? Like, and again, definitely sympathize, right, with those that have had difficult relationships with either parent, others, and those sorts of things. But this is the way that God has chosen to reveal Himself to us, right? And so to sort of to throw that out because of a corrupt relationship that we've had just doesn't. It seems more man-centered than God-focused.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even in the so in the Lord's Prayer, which is what she was referring to, there's 5 roles that are referred to in those prayers, like our Father in heaven. So the role of Father, Thy will be done, Thy kingdom come. So the role is King. Forgive us. Role is Savior. Give us this day our daily bread, provider, lead us not into temptation, sanctifier. So you have these 5 roles. Those aren't the only 5 roles of God, but those are 5 roles presented there. She presented some other roles of like, maybe you should pray like our creator or our good shepherd, which I don't even think is bad. Like for sure address God in those ways. But then she like followed with the caveat of, if you have positive associations, like, okay, so let's say you have negative associations. Are we just going to throw out those roles of God too? And like these roles that are presented of God aren't arbitrary. They're there for a reason. And particularly Father is there for a reason, because the whole picture that's painted in the gospel is that we are orphaned children, and that God through His Spirit has come and adopted us. That's the picture of the gospel that's presented in the Bible. So if you throw God if you throw the role of Father out the window and say, I'm not gonna view God as Father, well, now you're throwing that we are adopted as children out the window, and now you've lost the gospel. Yeah, and so it's tricky. I agree with the it's a little too centered on me, and really the whole point, even the Lord's Supper that she quoted, the second line is, "Thy will be done, Thy kingdom come." And so the whole aspect of the prayer is, I'm going to shift my will to Your will, not shift You to my will. We were talking about this earlier for a seminary class. I've been reading John Calvin's chapter on prayer, which is like 50 pages on just like a systematic on prayer. And one of the things he talks about is in the perseverance of prayer. The point ultimately isn't like, okay, you pray for something and it's not answered yet. You keep praying in hopes, in hopeful expectation that God's going to answer that prayer. But that's not the ultimate point. The ultimate point is that in that perseverance of prayer, that we are being molded and shifted into God's will. And so by the end of that perseverance of prayer, the answer may be no, but one of the effects of that perseverance is that we've been molded to God's will on the end of that we're okay. Yeah. That we didn't get the answer that we want because we're aligned with God's will by the end of that. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
I like it.
Yeah. And so, but praying to your Sunday school teacher, that's just weird. That's getting weird.
Or your coach. Or whatever else that she said brought up. It's like,
your mentor.
Your mentor. Yeah.
That just gets into a level of weird. Please don't pray. Please don't put me as a representation of God in your prayers.
Yeah, that would be very awkward.
Yeah. And that's bordering idolatry, like technical definition of idolatry.
Yeah. And she seems to have a pretty low view of what. I mean, she mentions that, okay, yeah, these are metaphors, and it's like, in a sense, yes, but also they're meant to convey something, right, about God. They're meant to convey something about even us, and so we don't get to pick and choose the ones that we like, especially those that are outside of Scripture.
Yeah, well, even, if we take that same logic, okay, God is king. Well, there's tons of examples of authoritarian kings that did bad things.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So are we just going to throw that whole role of God outside the window?
I was going to take it more the approach of 1776. We ain't got no king. Well, we overthrew that king.
Yeah, and so because our society has shifted and moved away from kings, are we going to just remove that role from God? So heaven's a democratic place.
Some people, depending on who's in office, will pray to God as president. Others are triggered by that, and don't do that. Don't do that. We're not saying that's a good idea. Just
ultimately, this is a dangerous. Problematic approach to how we view our relationship to God. We allow the Scripture to define our relationship with God, not our experiences. And again, all of the sympathy in the world for people who have bad experiences with their fathers or whoever. But the whole point of the gospel is that God is redeeming situations. We're not throwing out situations.
Yeah. He's a good father at the end of the day. And even though we as earthly fathers fail, he never does.
Yep.
So, yes.
Yep. Cool. Well, that was a fun one.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us today on Digging Deeper Podcast. We will see you next time.